Hey y'all, this is TCA Gaming, and in this video we are going to go over a few things that I'm consigning, not too many, but then we're actually going to focus on a product review of 3 different items that will release or should be released as of now. Alright, so there's only 2 items for consignment. We've got another one of these Machamps. These are pretty cool. They're coming through. I'm surprised to see the prices on them. They've been bringing 300 to 500 bucks, something like that. Which seems kind of cool because I mean you can get the starter deck for a lot less than that. So I guess if you can get the Machamp in a 10, you're doing pretty good. But also, this isn't something I would typically accept, but I did because I remember selling these and I thought they were always kind of cool. But this is one of the original WotC 4-pocket binders. This is probably the one that, if you had one, you probably had this one. But there were others. There was like a red one. That was probably the second most popular. But there was also random colored ones too. Like you get blue, I've seen orange, yellow, and there's been some other more rare ones that come out during the WotC era as well. But this was the most common. This is one of these albums, original, sealed. And I think the guy might have a few more coming in. But I used to sell these back in the day, and they went for a pretty good penny even before the boom. So I'm curious to see where they're sitting at now. All right, so first up, I'm going to go over this product. We have a League Battle deck. Typically, I don't buy any of these, but this one had Charizard in the name, so of course it caught my interest. And I was still on the fence about it, but then I noticed that it had Prime Catcher in here. Prime Catcher was a really good A-spec from Temporal Forces. And I remember at the time of release, it was like a $30 card or so. And even now, it's like a $12 to $15 card. I just sold a bunch to Troll and Toad on the buy list. We'll go over that here in a minute too. But I'm going to show you guys what's in here. I bought them mostly just to break down. So for me, like this right here, I trashed that. That probably tells you how to like to do the deck and stuff. So if like you wanted to battle, that's fine. These I usually set aside. I'll end up like bulk selling them out. Got plastic here. There's a nice little code card. Who knows? That actually might be worth something, especially with how playable some of these cards are. I think this is for like your dice, like a little dice box, but I'm not too sure. Again, I typically just throw them away, and then there's the dice themselves. Let me show you these cards. So what's cool is you get these 3, which apparently Pidgeot EX is a nice playable card too. So I sold 33 of these, I think, to Troll and Toad. And then I sold maybe 12 or 15. I think I sold maybe 15 of the Prime Catchers to them. This is the first time I did a buy list sell to them since my previous issue. So I'm kind of curious to see how that goes. Now, what you will notice is, so on the Pidgeots, yeah, almost all of them have an issue. There's one of them, so it's the back one that's going to have an issue, but then the front one actually looks really nice. So far, the quality that I've seen on like the centering and the edge wear has been pretty good. Like one little white dot there, but that's not going to matter. Really nice on 1 out of 2 cards. The other one, so these are going to be ones that you pretty much just use for play, but you're definitely not going to be able to sell them as like near mint just because of like the little, well, I mean, I guess some of you might be able to, and you know, there's a lot of people might not even notice because they're going to pull the card out and be like, oh, that looks good. But you can see even that corner right there has a little bit of indentation to it. And then for the Prime Catcher, these actually look really nice. They're stuck in the middle. Some of them have, yeah, a very small indentation right there. Like it's so light that you got to really shine the light on it. Otherwise, if you're looking at it, this looks like a really nice card. So I think I end up putting most of these up in my eBay because of that. Now for the Charizards, the back one is almost always wrecked. The middle one looks pretty good, and then so does the front one's usually the best, but the middle one has kind of same as the Prime Catcher. And you guys might not even be able to see it, but there's like a really small flash right there. I'm grading still most of my middle ones, and so you're getting essentially 2 gradable Charizards out of the League Battle deck, and then you're going to have one that's, you know, really just going to be used for play. So the Prime Catcher on top of the Pidgeots and the Charizard, that pretty much pays for what it's going to cost you if you bought it from distribution. However, if you're buying it from the store, you'll probably need, you know, a little bit more there. And then these 2 are kind of like bonuses. But then there's also still a deck that comes with it. Now, in this deck, there's several playable trainers that are like in the dollar range. Rare Candy, Babbage got an Iono, you got Ultra Ball, Artisan, got Boss's Orders. I can't remember if that one's any good or not. Buddy Poffin, a lot of people like running that. Can't remember with Arvin, but there's another Iono. Super Rod, another Buddy. Divine, I think that one might have been okay. More Ionos. I mean, you can see it's got really good playable trainers that you can stack because each one of these decks is going to have the same cards in them. Several buddies. I think that was like a $2 or $3 trainer right when the set hit. But even I think now it's like maybe $1 or so. I'm not really too sure. But either way, this is the kind of thing that if you've got the time to break it down, you can really make money off of. For me, it was only worth it with the Charizards in there because I knew that grading them would be kind of like the gravy. But the Prime Catcher made it to where, you know, I could potentially make the money back just from having the cards themselves. And what I plan to do is I'm actually grading 50 Charizards with CGC. I'm grading 50 with PSA. I'm going to compare the grades and the profit, because the PSA 10 is going to bring more than the CGC 10, but the CGC 10 is going to be cheaper to get because of the grading cost difference. The CGC Pristine most likely going to be much tougher to get than the PSA 10, but you know, is that price difference going to make up for the price difference that the PSA 10 makes over the CGC 10? And then some of these might not even get 10s. You know, you're still going to have misses, and you have to factor that in as well. Now, this Pikachu that I'm showing you here, you can actually get this Pikachu from the collector chest that just come out. I try to buy some of these because I use the collector chest for missions that we go out on usually once a month. Usually it's the first Sunday of the month, and we put like food and, you know, different things in there. But the Pikachu was in there, and almost all of them were damaged. I was able to pull 14 out of 108 10s out that I think have a shot at being graded. Most of them had damage to where it wasn't from the plastic themselves. It was just from something maybe in the machine, the tooling, I don't know. But there was like indentions like on the surface of the card. Similar to if you had the Trick or Trade boosters from 2023, a lot of those had indentions just right in the middle of the hollows for some reason. So I'm going to see how those do. I think it's a beautiful card. The Cosmos looks great on it. This one doesn't have a swirl. I had one that actually had 2 swirls. That was pretty cool. And then the last product has these jumbos, which is Terrapagos and Friends. It's like a standard collection box. I haven't really batted an eye at many jumbos in a while, but I thought that since CGC is offering a new service where they are grading jumbos, and then this actually seems like a pretty cool jumbo. The attack is really good. A Grand Adventure with Friends. 100 damage for each of your Pokemon in play. Wouldn't that be nice? A basic, colorless? Heck yeah. But what got me was the condition. All of them, like I couldn't find edge wear on any of them. Like the only thing that I would believe could possibly pull this away from like being pristines and gem mint 10s is you can see the centering isn't exactly perfect, but it's still good enough to where I think that, you know, they got a shot at pristines. But I'm going to send a couple of these off to CGC. I'm going to just test out their jumbo service, see if it's any good. And because we know what the PSA jumbo service looks like, which is pretty decent, but it costs a lot. It's like $40 a card. CGC's jumbo service right now is $15. That's a huge difference, especially for a card like this, and if you're wanting to grade jumbos. But I want to compare the cases, see if they're nice and tight, if they look pretty good, or if it's a ton of space, kind of like a BGS jumbo case, which I don't really like unless they've changed it up recently, because there's just so much extra space there. It's a lot of weight too. But anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions about these products and you want to know what the cards are more in detail, I would recommend some place like Bulbapedia if you can make it past the ads. Man, that place has been weighed down so bad with ads. But they always seem to have a lot of information. I'm sure PokeBeach has stuff out there as well. And there's probably other channels who've already went into this stuff, completely. But I want to show you what I was doing, my plays on them. Why, if I go to buy them, what am I actually doing with them? I was hoping that the collector chest would have more of these Pikachus gradable, but they don't. Usually these are not worth money. Like, you can't really make a whole lot of money off of them. However, there was one exception. Remember when we had the Armored Mewtwo with the Charizard? Like, that was a really good 10. Like, I would love to have more of that one. But the one with the Charizard deck, I think there's definitely some opportunity there. I've picked up 324 decks, so I've got about 1,000 Charizards I have to go through. I have not broken them all down yet. They do take a lot of time, a lot of effort, and it's a lot of extra stuff that you're just throwing away or possibly recycling if you can. But around here, cardboard really doesn't pay for anything, and most of this cardboard isn't even recyclable. So it's like, oh, what do you do with that? Because it's like paper products. But anyways, guys, I'll keep rambling on if I keep going. We did actually hit 77,500 during the stream. So I thought that was, a little cool milestone. But, it's dipped back down again. Usually does after the stream. Hopefully I see you guys on Tuesday. And if I don't, have a great weekend.